Dear students and working accountants, all are welcome to my Smart Tally Prime class YouTube channel. And why I say working accountants, because still now, till today also, most of the accountants are working on Tally ERP9. But actually from 20 onwards, actually we have to work on Tally Prime only, because it is the most advanced and very easy version, as well as all the updates in the software in the Tally updates are made only in the Prime after that. That is after 20 November. That is only is working, but all the latest updates, they are not available in Tally ERP9. That's why these working accountants can get a full knowledge of this Tally Prime, and they can shift to Tally Prime. It's very easy from Tally ERP9. Shifting to Tally Prime is very easy. We saw in the old previous videos how to migrate data from Tally ERP9 to Tally Prime. It's very easy. We can work in Tally Prime. Okay, that's why I tell you. And before we start our class, one small request: all the students are all the persons who have not yet subscribed my channel, please subscribe my channel and click the bell icon and select all, so that you will get notification for all the videos which I upload. And share the channel with all your friends, not only friends, whoever require this accounting training, or they want to know, learn more, work accountants working, they want to learn more, all of them, you just share the channel. And one thing is, when you are watching these videos, don't skip any video in the middle. Every video you watch till the end, don't skip, because if you skip the video, in the middle, and afterwards, after the skipping, you don't know you cannot understand the matter. You will lose the matter, whatever is given, subject matter given after that. That's why you can, okay, you can watch later, but at a time, if you watch the total video, then you can very easily understand, and you can practice also very well. Okay, that's my request. And we will enter into the subject matter. The first of all, I'll tell you. So in the last video, we have discussed how to create ledgers. How to create ledgers, because every tally, everything is ready. Company we created, company is ready. Now we have to record the transactions. Means we have to record the transactions. Means we have to record in the ledger accounts. In manual accounts, we say accounts. Here, the same accounts are called ledgers. So in the ledgers, you have to record me, because every transaction will have two accounts or two ledgers. One account is to be debited and one account is to be credited. So the account, debit account and credit account, where can we get? We have to create them. Just like company, since we created a company, similarly we have to create the ledger accounts also. Ledgers, we can simply say it's called ledger account. We simply call it as ledger. We have to create the ledgers that we learned. And these ledgers can be created in two ways. One is single ledgers. That is, every ledger you can create individually, separately, one after one after one. You can create individually. That's called creation of single ledgers. Then when you are creating the single ledger, the screen will be ledger creation. Ledger creation means creating simple ledger. I will go to the screen. We'll share the screen, and I will tell you. And I will share the Tally Prime also. Ledger creation is completed. Both single ledgers as well as multiple ledgers we created. Now we are going to learn the next topic relating to these ledgers only. So we know how to create the ledgers. Now there is another thing, another step in the ledgers after creation. After creation, or sometimes already some ledgers may be already existing. So then what is the what happened to this? Yeah, see here. So 1 minute. There is some problem in the mouse. Okay, we'll see here. There is some problem here. Okay, so we completed how to create the ledgers. Single ledgers we have to create. We have seen some examples, and is what you call multiple ledgers with different groups. All this we create. We have learned. Now, what we are going to do is that is the problem here. What we are going to do is now. The next step is how to enter opening balances and stock in ledgers. So we created the ledgers. Okay, I will close it now. Okay, let it be. I will minimize and then go to here. So how when you enter into the ledgers, now there is something. Suppose you are creating a new account, you are creating a new ledger, or some ledgers are already existing. In the case of an old company, some ledgers will be existing, some ledgers will be opened newly. That is new ledger accounts you have to open. So for that purpose, whether creation, for anything, first of all, when you open the tally, we will go to the select company page. Select company page means listing all the companies, names of the company, listing all the companies is called select the company. In this list, you can select any company, whichever is required. So we require, so we will work in Venkateswara Enterprises. This is all the previous, these are migrated from Tally Airplane. Now created in this Tally Prime is Venkateswara Enterprises. We are taking this. So it is in. When the company is selected and we press enter, that company will load in the gateway of Tally. From the gateway of Tally only, we have to do any work. In the select a company page, only work we can do, one work, that is selecting the company. Then we will come to gateway of Tally. See here, the in screen is gateway of Tally. So in this gateway of Tally, the company selected, the latest selection company will be highlighted here. That is, it means we are going to work on this. Suppose we select another company. Suppose if we select another company, for example, Ranga Enterprises, if we select, so this will be loaded again here. So that is the latest one that will be highlighted, because if we select it means now we are going to work in this. Previously, Venkateswara Enterprises, now we selected this means we are going to work in this. But we can select anything. And again, if you press this, that will be highlighted. Okay, like this, we select the company and press enter. Then that will be loaded in the gateway of Tally. In the gateway of Tally, what we have to do. So for creating single ledgers, we use create button. We use create button. This is the creating button for the single ledger. It is called simply ledger creation. Ledger creation means creating a single ledger. Creating a single ledger in the ordinary course. Creating a single ledger in the ordinary course. And then if you want to create multiple ledgers, many ledgers, this will help only to create one ledger account. We cannot create two here. So what we do is we will take the help of chart of accounts. We'll go to the chart of accounts. So single ledger create, multiple ledgers, chart of accounts, we will go ledgers. Then here all the list is there. That is all the groups already accounts. If there is some accounts are created already, some accounts are created, the list also will be here under the respective group. Main primary group and then secondary group. Under the secondary group, the respective accounts which we have created will be displayed. Okay, here now, if you want to create this one, what you call multiple ledgers. In this case, we go to on the right side. See, right side means button menu, right button menu. This is called top menu. This is called right button menu. In the right button menu, there is Alt H or multi-masters. So you can click Alt H in the keyboard or click multi-masters with the mouse. So if you click that multi-masters, so another button will open, list of multi-masters. In that, creating, altering, all these, we require creation. So multi-creation will be there. Here, that you can create many ledgers at a time. That in that case, if the ledgers are under different groups, so on the upside, on the top one, under group, you keep all items means all groups. So all groups you can enter here. So name you have to enter here, then group you have to enter here. Okay, and then go to the next one, next name, next group, like that. If there are many accounts under the same group, then here what you can do is under group, we can give the name of that group, because many ledgers are under that group. So give that name here, then you enter, simply enter the name, automatically the group will be taken from here. This group will come here. So we have to enter only name. In the case of different groups, name and group we have to give. In the case of many ledgers in one single in a group, and then case if you give that group name on the top under group, then if you give the name itself, it's enough. Like this, we will enter, and at the end we can enter. It will be accepted, or you can accept like with control A. Okay, this is how we did yesterday. Now what we are going to do is, now in the case of this, what you call, in the case of these accounts, I mean ledgers, already from the previous period, if the company is an existing company, from the previous period, if there is any opening balance, which is possible. If there is any opening balance, then how to enter the opening balances? In the case of a new account is created, when the new account is created, or when there is already existing company, existing ledger, then how to enter the opening balance? That's what we have to know. And this opening balance, method of entering the opening balance is the same for all the accounts, all the ledgers. Same for all the ledgers except one, that is stock. That is stock in hand. See, here we will enter purchases, we will enter sales, but there will be no stock account. That we have to create that. We have to create that to show the opening balance. To show the opening balance, we have to create. Okay, see, just like other accounts, if it exists company, all other accounts will be available. If we require any account, that we will create. But in the case of stock account, it should be created. Even if it is also an existing company, it also may be existing. Okay, so in that case, the method of entering opening balance is different from all the ledger accounts. This stock account is completely different. That one we have to learn well, and all other accounts or ledgers are same. So for entering the ledgers, when you are creating, or this, I will tell you, if you are creating, we are using create button now. For single ledger, we are using create button, but I never use create button, because in this create button, the work is only one, creating the ledger, that's all. You cannot see what are the ledgers we created. That's just after creating one ledger, again it will go back to the name column. Name on the top, it will go to the name column to create the next account. That's all, only one we can do. Only go on creating the ledger accounts only. We cannot see what are created, what are the accounts created also, we cannot see. Our work is only to create the ledgers. That is the only work in this create button. But the next one, when after that, in any tab, see, you want to make any alteration means alter, or alter is also called modification or modify, or edit, alteration, editing, modification. All these are called simply alter button only we use. All are same, names are different. Alteration, modification, just editing, everything is changing the information. So for that we have to use alter button. But in addition to that, that is alteration or modification, or alteration or delete. If you want to delete the completely, remove from the database, remove any information, remove from the database. For that also alter or delete. Alter means includes three: alteration, alt, edit, modify. All are same. Or deletion. These two. For these two purposes, we use alter button. But this alter button is used for another work also, which you are using. We are doing with create button. With create button, we are creating single ledger. The same thing we can do in alter also. See, if you go to the alter button, in the alter button, one more thing is, in this alteration button, alter button, we can see all the ledgers we have created single ledgers as well as multiple ledgers. We are doing at a time. Many accounts, ledgers are created at a time. That's all. They are also like this, what you call single ledgers only. All the ledger accounts, whether single ledgers created by single ledgers or created as multiple ledgers, all the ledger accounts, all the ledgers list will be displayed in the alter button only. In the create button, we can create. If you want to see them, we have to go to alter button. So if you go to alter button, select ledgers, all the list will be displayed. See, all the list will be displayed. by this button. So if you want to create, also we can do in this. So when you are opening when you want to enter the opening balance also, you want the list. So which account you have to open? Which account you have to open and enter the opening balance. For that purpose, we require the list of accounts. So in the alter button only, we can see the list of accounts. See list of ledgers. We call it as ledger or account or same. So all the ledger accounts or ledgers are available under this alter button. Here, in addition to display, and we can alter, we can delete everything. In addition to that, we can create also. See on the top, in every window, most of the windows wherever you are working, going to work, the create button will be there. So because every time you need not go back to tally, go back to gateway of tally to create or something. To create, we need not go to there. Wherever you are working, there itself you can create. That's called secondary creation. So when the account is created in the beginning itself, in the gateway of tally, it is called, it's not given there, simply they will give ledger creation. Ledger creation means creating for the single ledger for the first time. That is directly we are creating. It is called primary method. Primary method in advance, before making the entries, we are creating the ledger accounts. It is called ledger creation. We can take it as primary method. But whenever you are working in some other place, wherever you are working, directly you can create there also. There will be create button. If you create there, then it is also called ledger creation only. But it is secondary method, not created in the beginning. Whenever you require, when there is a necessity to create an account, then you are creating. That is why at the time of making entries, we are creating. That is why it's called ledger creation secondary. See here, ledger creation it is. Okay, you are working somewhere. Okay, so ledger creation, the same thing, ledger creation primary method, it is there. So we can create here also display of ledger accounts, and alteration or deletion of ledger accounts we can do here, but creation also we can do. That's why I always use only alter button. I never use create button. The same work is done by alteration button also, but I use alteration button only. So it's okay. For creating single ledger, create button or alteration button, both will work. But now our work is to enter the opening balance. So go to alter button, then select ledger, enter. Now you see, you get all the ledger accounts. Here, for example, capital account, owner's capital. So in the owner's capital, if you take from the last period, from the previous period, if you take, so that balance you have to take here. I will delete here. See here, no balance. Here, we have created the ledger. Okay. But at the time of creating ledger, we are creating now means we are entering all the information, and at the ending, after that, at the end, the cursor will come to opening balance. Okay. We are creating, it come to opening balance. Then we have to enter 2 lakhs or 1 lakh, whatever it may be amount. For example, entering 1 lakh, and whether it is a debit balance or credit balance, automatically it will take, because it will take with the help of the group. So capital account is created. But under which group it falls? It falls under capital group. Where is capital? In the balance sheet on the liability side, capital account is the first primary group. Capital account is the first primary group. So this capital of a proprietor, capital of partners, share capital of companies, everything falls under capital account. All the partners, A capital, B capital, C capital, all these are different accounts, individual accounts, but they fall under the capital accounts. And similarly, in the case of withdrawals by the owners or proprietor or partners, they are called drawings. Drawings account also is related to capital owner. That is why drawings account also falls under capital account only. So we like this, and we will enter capital account, and then state just we will enter this. In the case of real personal accounts, in sundry debtors and sundry creditors, the state and PIN code is very important. It is very important. In those cases, definitely have to give the state and PIN code. In all other cases, nothing, you don't bother about the state or PIN code. Don't bother about anything. But in the case of debtors and creditors, definitely you have to select the state and the PIN code, because in the later stages we learned, because when you are selling to the persons, they are called as debtors. When you are purchasing from other persons, they are called out creditors. So in the case of debtors and creditors, when you are purchasing and when you are selling goods, we will charge and they will charge. There will be GST also on the goods. GST also. So in the case of GST, how the GST is charged means that GST is dependent on the state. The state here we give is, that is the state of place of supply. So the GST charge of GST is dependent on the state or the place of supply. So now we are, that we will come to it later. Okay. So here, after creating this ledger, last it will come here and it will enter here, and then if we enter, it will show credit balance, because this, it will take the help of the group. Capital account is a liability, it is a credit balance, so it will show a credit balance. Okay. For suppose if this account is now already existing, now the account is already existing. Okay. If already existing means we need not go till the end by pressing enter. We need not go like this. We need not go like this. Directly we have to enter here only. All these are entered already. So we need not do anything. If there is any change, we have to change. Suppose if you want to change the state, just click on that, the cursor will come there. Otherwise, okay. So that is why directly we have to enter only the closing balance if it is already existing. So come directly click in the closing balance. You 1 lakh you enter, it will show credit balance. Okay. So directly with the mouse, we click whenever you want to make entry, make an entry here. Just you have to just click on that, the cursor will come there. Otherwise, yeah, there is another method. So clicking with the mouse, wherever you want to make that we have to enter the column. Wherever which column you want, there you can, here you want here. So here if you click, it will come here. So like that, you can click with the mouse, or so if you click with mouse, all directly the cursor will come to the opening balance tab. That also we can do in another way. Control end, note down, control end. If you press control end, directly it will come to the last column, that is last tab. Last column is opening balance. So directly it will come to the only. If you want to make any changes here in between, we have to come with the help of enter only. But if you want to enter in the last column only opening balance from capital account or anything from heading, any account from the heading, simply click with the cursor, click with the mouse at the opening balance tab, or click control end, it will come to the last column. So 1 lakh I entered, so it is shows credit balance. So like this, every account we have to enter like this. If it is existing, directly go to the end, enter the balance and accept. If it is a new account, new ledger, then enter all the details. The cursor will come to the end. At the end, you enter the opening balance. Okay. I will show one more thing is, I will tell you. Wait 1 minute. See, in sometimes by default, sometimes it will be, but sometimes in this case of ledgers, any ledger, if in this case of any ledger, there will be no column for opening balance. There will be no column for opening balance. So there's no opening balance here. Then how we enter into opening balance? For that purpose, we have to use one tab called, you see in the window itself, at the bottom right, on the right button menu, at the end you can find F12 configure F12 configure. So we skipped some item called F11 features, company features alteration, that we have not learned. We'll go to that. So that is called feature alteration, that is company features. Here company's ledger configure. What is the difference between features and configure? Features means many features will be available, and out of those features, whatever feature we require, we enable that. Others will, if we require, we enable. If we don't require, we'll disable. That means the feature will be available. But if you want, you can enable. If you don't want, you can disable. That is the feature. Configuration means if the features are not available, we have to get the feature. We have to get the feature. If the feature is not available, we have to get the feature. Here, see here, if you take the opening balance is not here, so that feature is not available. If there is opening balance, feature is there. If there is balance, we enter the balance. If there is no balance, we don't enter the balance. But the feature is there. But here the feature itself is missing. If the feature is not available, we have to get the feature. For getting the features, you have to go to F12. Press F12 or press that one. In this case, you come in the general details, come to the end in the general details, provide opening balances for ledgers. So you make it yes. And then Control A, save. So now you see opening balance has come. Wasn't it? Like this, opening balance, if it is not available, it is not seen, then go to F12, configure, and in the first general details, last one at the end, provide opening balances for ledgers. You make it yes, enable that. You make enabling means making yes. Make it yes and save. If you save, then automatically opening balance column, the tab will be available in all the ledger accounts. And with the help of that, we can enter the opening balances. In the case of new ledger, enter all the details, and at the end, enter the opening balance. In the case of existing ledger, if the opening balance, if you want to enter, then from the name of the ledger, directly you come click with mouse at the opening balance tab or click Control End. It will come to what happened? Just stuck up 1 minute. You come to the see from this one Control End, automatically it come to the opening balance tab. Then you can enter and see accept. Okay, so this is the method of creating, entering the opening balances, But here, at the time of creation also, when you create with the help of create button, with the help of this alteration button also, you can create. When you are creating single ledgers, we are entering the opening balances. At the time of creating single ledger, create the ledger, at the end enter the opening balance. Similarly, sometimes we create multiple ledgers. In the case of multiple ledgers, what we do, go to multi-masters, then multi-create, then you will enter here. Suppose fall item. Here, for example, X and co. So here you take it as sundry debtors. So you have taken sundry debtors. So X and co sundry debtors. Previously we said we come back to the name. But here, when you are creating, if there is account, if there is opening balance, that also we can enter. Then come to this. It will show. There is a sundry debtor means debit balance. So it shows the balance also. Then come to this one. We will learn later. This one. What is this and how you get it? We'll get it later. So then come to the second one. Come to the second one. Again, you enter this one. See this regarding all the different groups. In the case of a same group, here we take the group. And then we have to enter only the name. It automatically will take the group. Then after that, we enter. It goes to opening balance. Directly we can enter the opening balances. This is about the creation, that is opening balances at the time of creation. Creating single ledger as well as creating multiple ledgers. In both the cases, at the time of creation itself, we can give the balances, opening balance. Suppose if we want to give the opening balances, you have to take in the case of existing ledgers. In the case of existing ledger means already created. So we need not go to the create button, we should not go. Similarly, chart of accounts, we need not go. We have to go to alter button. Then go to ledger. Then all the list will be there. Here, all the ledgers created as single ledgers or created as multiple ledgers. All the ledgers will be displayed here. There you can go and we can give the opening balances. Here, all the accounts, we can give opening balances, or we can give sometimes in the case of opening balances with the help of chart of accounts also, with the help of alter button displaying all the accounts, along ledgers. Similarly, in the case of all the ledgers, if you want to give with the help of chart of accounts also, chart of accounts creating means only group, multiple ledgers. But in the case of chart of accounts, we can display, we can get, see here, we are getting the total list, isn't it? Similarly, here also we can get the total list, but with group also. There, in this case of alter button, we are getting only the name of the ledger account, ledgers. But in the case of chart of accounts, we will get the group also. Here you see, for creating multi-masters, you are going create alter. But if you want to see only the ledgers which are created, you see ledger view. This is F4, this is H, this is F5. If you click F5 in the keyboard or click this with mouse, here you see all the ledger accounts are created, shown. All the ledger accounts are shown. So these accounts are this list of ledgers. List of ledgers means it includes all the accounts created as a single ledger, created as multiple ledger. All will be here. Here also we can make, for example, here you see, I will take one Radhika, for example. So I'm taking Sunday data here. So it will go to that one, Radhika. Here we can enter, same thing, we can do this one, or enter control end, it will come to the end, we can enter this one. See Sunday data, that means debit, it will show a debit balance. So we have accepted. So like this, we can get the list here also. But here along with the list, along with the group, as well as along with the state, everything we get here. So here also we can give this one. But at the time of creation means directly name and group, then opening balance we can give. Okay. So after practicing and we are making entries, we can learn everything. Okay. This. So this is about all the ledger accounts except stock. But stock account is not available actually, because purchases and sales will be entered, but stock will not be entered. But in the case of 1 minute, yeah, there are, when you are maintaining the accounts, there are two types of maintaining the accounts. One is with inventory, without inventory. With inventory, that is maintaining inventory or maintaining inventory, not maintaining inventory, means we are doing the business with goods. Inventory means goods. We are doing the business with goods only. But when entering in the books, maintaining inventory, not maintaining inventory, there are two types. One is maintaining inventory means entering all the details of all the goods, all the types of goods. What are the types of goods you have? Salt, everything, many types of goods. All these goods individually we enter in this one. This is called maintaining inventory. Maintaining inventory. We are purchasing some goods. We will purchase with the name of that goods. This is the goods. How much you purchased? What is the amount? And another goods. What is this goods? Name of the goods. Like that. That's called. We'll come to it later. It's called stock item. So what are the different items or articles we are purchasing? We will write them separately. We enter separately when you purchase as well as when you sell. It is called maintaining inventory. In that case, we cannot do anything. We need not take opening balance. We need not to take credit opening balance or closing balance. We will not do anything, because whenever you are making entries with all the details of the goods, it will take how much purchased, how much is sold, what is the balance, everything it will show. So when the opening balance of last year, closing balance of last year will come to the opening balance of this year, it will show completely all the details, opening balance. Similarly, closing balance, as per the accounts, what is the closing balance? What are the different? What is the stock of so-and-so item? What is the stock of so-and-so item? What is the balance of different items? It will show, and the total amount it will show. So automatically it will show. We need not do anything manually. In case we are not maintaining inventory, that means just we are purchasing. Whatever you purchase, we are taking at purchases. You can do. We are at the rate of 18% tax. We are purchasing many goods, many types of goods. We are not entering individually, not maintaining goods. Simply we enter it as purchases 18%. That is 18% tax rate purchases. So purchase 18%, purchase 28%, purchase 12%, like that, purchase 5%, like that. We purchase goods and we enter the tax rate. That's sometimes that is necessary, because It is necessary for us. So with the help of the tax rate, we enter as purchases. So there will be no details. Then in such a case, similarly sales also. We enter sales 18%, sales 15, 12%, like that. In that case, the system don't know what are the amount you purchase. Selling means sales will include profit also. So we are purchasing for 1 lakh, sales is 1,20,000 means it does not mean that stock is oversold. How you can sell? We can sell only up to 1 lakh. Out of that 1,21,000 sales, what is the cost of the sales? Purchased for 1 lakh, sold for 1,20,000. That means cost will be only 1 lakh. So that is the cost of the goods sold. So it will show purchase 1 lakh, sales also 1 lakh. Profit is different. Sold sales 1 lakh, the balance is nil. If we sell for 80,000 worth of goods, we sold for 1 lakh, no problem. But the goods worth 80,000. So 80,000 worth of goods we sold. So purchase 1 lakh, sales, sale of, that is original price, basic price. Sales 80,000, balance is 20,000. Like that it will show automatically. But now, if the inventory is not maintained, we have to do it manually. So in that case, how you will do? In that case, how you will do? I will check up whether a stock account is there. I will create stock in hand. I will delete and then I will show you. Okay. In this case, when you are making entries and creating the ledger accounts, the same thing we have to do here also, creating ledger account. We have to create it as stock or stock in hand. Stock or stock in hand, we have to create, but we should not enter the opening balance. We should not enter the opening balance. Stock means there will be opening balance and there will be closing balance. Because stock is not a separate account. We are creating for our purpose, newly created. So that stock account, if we create, automatically it will be split into two, opening balance and closing balance. It will show in the both opening and closing balance, it will show. That is why we should not enter the opening balance. If you enter the opening 1 lakh as opening balance, the opening balance and everything will be shown as 1 lakh only. That is why we have to be very careful when you are creating. So I am using now with creating, we have to use create button. But what I am using alter button. In the alter button also there is create. So here stock in trade or stock in hand. This is also called stock in trade. Simply stock, stock in hand, stock in trade. Everything are same. So stock in hand we are creating. Okay. So where it falls under which group? See, on the asset side, in the current liabilities, stock in hand is stock in hand, Sunday debtors, all these are there. Cash balance, bank balance, all they fall under sundry, current assets. So under the current assets, that is main group. The subgroup or the secondary group is sundry debtors. So this falls on, not sundry debtors, this falls on stock in hand under that. So stock in hand, we have to select. We have to select stock in hand, assets. Okay, that's all. Come to the last. Here, you don't enter any opening balance. You should not enter opening balance. Don't enter any opening balance. Just simply close it. 1 minute. Before that, I will tell you. Before this, before creating this balance, see, you go to the in the case of, it will show in final accounts only. In the final accounts, how the stock is shown in the profit and loss account. Debit side, before purchases, opening stock is shown. Credit side, after sales, closing balance in closing stock is shown in the profit and loss account. In the balance sheet, the closing stock only will be shown on the asset side under current assets. See here, see the profit and loss account. The profit and loss account, see, purchase sales are there. Is there any opening balance or closing balance? So not available. Similarly, if you go to balance sheet, see on the asset side, on the current assets, you see sundry debtors is there. Is there any closing stock? No. Stock in hand, it is also called. Not available. No. So here is not available. That's why when you are creating, after you create the stock in trade, it's also called stock in trade, everything. It comes under stock in hand. Okay. Here, don't enter any opening balance. When you create the stock in hand, then it will be split into two, opening and closing. It will be shown there. I'll show you. Now here, we created stock account. So now you go to the profit and loss. Just click pre. I will tell you later. See here, you see. Before purchases, there is opening stock. We have not given any amount. So here opening stock and after sales, there is closing stock. It is showing now. Then we similarly go to balance sheet on the current side, current asset, you see on the asset side, sundry debtors is there, closing stock is shown, but amount is not available. Understand? So like this, to create this, we have to create only the stock account without any balance. Created now. Then go to the alter button. We have to make alteration in that. So we have to go to alter button now. On opening also, we have gone to create button. Now you go to just alteration, not button. See in alteration, go to stock in trade. Go to stock in trade. Now the window will be different. This is also ledger alteration now. When you created the stock in trade or stock in hand account, it is ledger creation. That is, we are creating for the first time primary method. Now here the ledger is now altering now. The ledger is created. Now we are altering. Once a ledger is created, it is called ledger creation. After that, whenever you want to alter it, if you go to the create page, the same create page, then it is not shown as ledger creation. Ledger alteration it will show. Ledger alteration. Here is showing alteration. Now we will take, see stock in trade. Sorry, stock in trade. It is not trade, sorry. Stock in trade, if you go there, it comes under stock in hand, current assets is shown. Here, now we have to show the balances. Here, at the beginning of the year, we will know the opening balance. At the end of the year, we will know both opening and closing balances, isn't it? So here, we'll go to the end of the year. See, in the beginning, we have 1 lakh worth of goods. 1 lakh worth of goods. And at the end of the year, that is 31st March 23. Remember the date. At the end of the year, we have 25,000 rupees worth of goods. Okay. So opening and closing balances we are given. That's why now we have to enter, and accept. Okay. Now go to the profit and loss account. Just type P, profit and loss account. Go to F1, alt F1 shows details. Okay. Here you see. Here, closing stock, you see opening stock is 1 lakh, closing stock in trade, it is also showing, it is showing only, again 1 lakh only. It is showing 1 minute, that stock is, it is to be done. Oh, the stock in hand, okay. Stock in trade I created, okay. Stock in trade. So it is there, stock in trade, it is showing the same amount. Why? Because, see here, the opening balance, when you give the opening balance, 1st April 22. But when is the closing balance? 31st March 23. 31st March 23. Here see the date of the profit and loss account for 1st April 22. For the 1st April 22, it is the opening balance. The same will be the closing balance. This closing balance only at the end of the year. That is why here we have to change the period. For changing the period, alt to 1/4/22 to 31st March 23. So total full period. If you give that, now you see opening balance is 1 lakh, closing balance is 25,000 rupees. It is correct. Now you go to the balance sheet. It also, here also, see here, it will show 1 lakh. Because here also see, balance sheet is here. The balance sheet is for 1st April 22. 1st April 22. That is why here also, alt F2, you give the period 22, 31st March 23. See here, if you give 1st April 22, then if you give 31st March, you need not give year because there is no 31st March in 22 because it is already gone. 1st April we are taking. That is, then that next to 31st March is only in 23. That's automatically it will take 23. See here, as at 31st March. As at 31st March, see opening balance is here. Stay there. Closing. So closing balance. Sundry debtors, the closing stock is 25,000. So you have to see the period. But actually now we have to change it. But actually, when you make the for the whole year when you are doing, automatically it will show 31st March. Why? Because why it is showing balance sheet as well as profit and loss account, it is showing only 1st April. Why? Why it is showing 1st April? Come to the gateway of tally. Escape if you press, you will come to the gateway of tally. So in the gateway of tally, you see, it is showing only there is showing only 1st April. Why it is showing? Because now we created the company, we selected this company. Now, so the current date is 1st April because we created and selected. That's all. That's the date. We are in that 1st April only. We are not made any entries later. Suppose if you make entries up to 5th April, then the profit and loss account and see profit we are getting for a particular period. Balance sheet will be available the position at the end of that period. That is on the last day of the period, isn't it? That is why if you make entries up to April, profit and loss will show 1st April to 5th April. Because up to 5th April, the profit or loss will be the result of the transaction for all the period from 1st April to 5th April. For that period, that is the result. That's why it will show 1st April to 31st March. 1st April to, 5th April. Balance sheet will show the position on 5th April. Because of these transactions, what is the financial position? Financial position will be on a particular date. Yesterday it will be different. Tomorrow it will be different. Isn't it? So, but profit is from that date to this date. This is the result of the business. That is profit and loss account from 1st April to 31st, 5th April. In the case of balance sheet, it will show balance sheet as at or as on 5th April. It will show because we made entries up to 5th. Now we are not made any entries. Only on 1st only we made some entries, capital and all these things. We made entries only on 1st April only. That is why it is showing 1st April. The profit and loss account is showing 1st April. The balance sheet is showing as at 1st April. For example, I will tell you in this, I will make one entry. See here on 1st May. I will make entry on 1st May. Something cash we paid payment. We paid cash to X and Co. X is that there. Sir, example. Okay. Till stationery expenses we paid 2000 rupees. We paid stationery expenses. Example we take. For example, we have taken 2000 rupees. Now escape. See, come to the gateway of tally. Okay. See, when you made the last entry, 1st May we made. You see, current date Sunday 1st May. So up to that we made entries. On the down also. Date of last entry 1st May. Up to 1st May we made the last entry. If you make entry on 6th May, it will show date of last entry 6th May. Current period date, that is when you are working. Suppose you opened 30th May. Opened 30th May. Then it will show current date 30th May. But date of last entry will be 1st May only. Because after 1st May you have not made any entry. This is for entries and this is for the selected date. Up to that. Okay. And here now you see we made entry on 1st May. Now you see go to profit and loss account. It will show 1st April to 1st May. See, for that period this is the profit or loss. That is why it will show from 1st April to 1st May. In the previously we selected the company on 1st April, kept as it is. We not made any entries. So it is showing on 1st April. In this case, 1st April and 1st April is on 1st April, the opening balance is there. That is the closing balance also till 31st. Because closing balance we gave on 31st March. That's why till 31st March, it will show the opening balance will be shown as closing stock also. Opening stock is shown as a closing stock also up to 30th March. 31st March, it will show the correct balance, closing stock 25,000. Up to that, both will be the same. Similarly, here you go to profit and balance sheet. See, balance sheet as at 1st May, on the day, it is the position. So on which date, last entry we made first. Up to that, there will be many transactions. In this case, here it shows as at or as on 1st May. Suppose if you take up to 1st September, it will say as at 1st September. This will show profit and loss will show 1st April to 1st September. So this is the thing. Okay. Now here, that's why what we can do is alteration button, stock in trade, stock in hand or stock in trade. Here at the beginning, even if we enter like this, it will show up to 30 March. It will show the opening balance only as closing stock also. That is why here when we are entering, we don't know what is the stock on 31st March. We are entering now on 1st April 1 lakh. That we know. At the end of the year, we don't know what is the stock. That's why you need not enter anything. See here, we need not enter anything. See here. Now you see, so opening stock, that is stock in trade, shows only opening balance. Like all other cases, this is also we entering only opening balance. But in the balance sheet and profit and loss account and balance sheet, closing stock also is shown as the same amount till 30th. If suppose if you give that first April itself, for example, 1st April itself, because of the business done today, we sold out. We gave only 26,000 closing balance. So here you see, now you go to balance, profit and loss account. Then you see profit and loss account. Opening balance is 1,000. 1st May we give. Okay. 1st April means 1st May also the same. See here, the closing stock is shown as 26,000. In the balance sheet also you see closing stock, current assets, go to closing stock 26,000. So similarly, that is why what we do is at the beginning of the year, stock account, stock in hand, we first open the account without any opening balance, then go to alter page, then take the stock in trade, then give the opening balance, then give the opening balance, and don't give the closing balance till the end of the period. Only the opening balance also stock will be shown as closing stock also. At the end of that period, the date which I give, on that last date, we give the closing stock that will be taken to the profit and loss account as closing stock, as well as in the balance sheet also as closing stock. Till then, the opening balance will be shown as closing stock also. Okay. This is about giving the opening balances in the case of all the ledgers, including stock. Stock is different, all the ledgers are different. In all the cases, we give the opening balance only. In the stock account, we don't give the closing balance at the beginning of the year because we don't know about that. So this is the thing. So once again, I am requesting you, please subscribe. I will close this. And I am requesting you, please subscribe the channel and share with all the friends. Click the same thing repeating. Click the icon, bell icon, then select all, then like all the videos, see the videos, all the videos till the end. This is for today, and tomorrow we will take the next class. So this is opening balances, how you come, it is completed. Okay, so we created at the time of creation or whenever necessary for the existing accounts, we are entering the opening balances, entering the opening balances. Now, if there is an error, either in the opening balance or all the details of the account, in the account details, when you are giving, we give some mistake. So to rectify that, we have to rectify that. So how to rectify that mistake? Either opening balance or any other matter, what you call, any information is wrong, that is to be rectified. That's called, rectify is also called edit, alteration, editing, modification. All are same. So we simply call it as alter, means alteration. So how to alter? And sometimes if we don't require some accounts, we don't require an account. If you don't require an account, so that's not necessary for us. So you have to remove that from the tally. Removing from tally means removing completely from the database. Shutting is just closing down, keeping aside. Again, we can select and come. But delete this one. Removing means removing completely from the database. It is called deleting. So how to alter and how to delete the ledger accounts is very simple. So this we will take up in the next class, and till that time, be happy and you follow all the videos. You gain the full complete expert knowledge by following all these videos. I know many channels you will be knowing, so they will skip many topics, and some people I see, I feel how they are teaching. Some people, they are teaching that bluntly, they are teaching all false information. That is, they are teaching everything wrong. One small example I will tell you. GST is different, income tax is different. GST is managed by GSTIC. See, GST is managed by CITD, that is Central Board of Indirect Tax, CTID, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CDIC, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. This is indirect tax. indirect taxes and customs. But income tax is managed by Central Board of Direct Taxes, CBDT, Central Board of Direct. This is CBIC, that is CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. This is Central Board of Indirect Taxes and in Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. Okay, so they are not related to each other. Income tax is different. That is direct tax. This is indirect tax. This indirect tax means that will be paid by somebody on our behalf. But direct tax means from our pocket we have to pay. So it's not related to each other. But some people say, for this you have to go to income tax department. For GST, why you go to income tax department? Like that. Say some people there without knowledge. Some people are teaching, but you must be very careful with that. Okay. So okay, all these are not necessary. Not criticizing. I'm not criticizing. They can rectify, but they are not doing. They can rectify, but suppose if I got a doubt, I can get rectification. I can just get clarification from others also. No problem. See, no one is a what you call top person. Everybody, even though is a very clever teaching in all the cases, but he may also commit some mistakes. So in that case, rectifying from others is not wrong. Okay, that's it. So here, be careful and you learn fully, you get expert knowledge and you can get a very good job and you will become a perfect accountant. Without full knowledge, you will not call an accountant. You will be a data entry operator. Just entering the data, sales, purchases, just enter in the computer. That's all. That is also not as per law. Just watching the invoice, entering whatever is there, whether it is right or wrong, entering manually whatever is there. This will be called a data entry operator, not an accountant. So you must be a perfect accountant. So that's why you learn all this. And one more thing, I am conducting, if anyone requires, some people from any place, online classes, or from Hyderabad, if they require any face-to-face classroom classes, that is offline classes also, I am conducting. If you want, anyone you want, you can contact me. My details are given in the channel in the about section, my mobile number and my email address. You can. But remember, those classes offline and on, they are not free because we have to spend money for that. That's why they are not free, but the fees will be very, very moderate compared to the other institutes. But the knowledge will be very high, which you get. The knowledge will be expert knowledge. So you take that assurance from me and you can contact me if you want. So with this, be happy and be careful, learn well, but practice many times. Practice only will give you the best result. Okay, right. Thank you and good night.